Live, local, late breaking. This is KEZI 9 News Midday.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us for KEZI 9 News at Midday. I'm Adam Miranda.
And I'm Storm Tracker 9 meteorologist Cameron Landfield.
All right, Cameron, looks like we're getting another wet day ahead.
Yeah, it looks like it. We had just a little bit of a sun break over the past couple hours, but that's going to be closing up pretty soon here. We've got some nice winds pushing more moisture in and popping up showers after that. So let's actually check out some of the cameras right now so you can see which areas are looking the best. Roseburg clearly has all of the cloud coverage going on right now. Actually, a lot of low cloud coverage as well. They might already be seeing some of that pop-up action with those clouds. Now moving though into Eugene, there's lower cloud coverage as well, and it looks like if you look off into the distance there into the hills, you might actually see some virga, which is essentially just dry rain. But Corvallis looking beautiful out there. We see some blue sky, so they haven't quite seen all of the cloud coverage move in yet. So pretty soon here it's going to be gray out in Corvallis, but they're actually going to see the lowest rainfall today as well. So if you're trying to stay dry, stay towards Corvallis. In fact, just stay towards the north altogether. Temperatures currently in those high 40s everywhere. It's actually warmer inland right now than it is on the coast, however, just by a couple degrees, still in those high 40s. 45 though for Reed Sports, so a little cooler down there. Then into the south, it's very similar. However, we do reverse that order there with the inland areas being a little cooler than on the coast. So we're seeing some of those 45s inland and closer to 50 on the coast. Now for the high temps today, similar to yesterday, just right about on that average, 49 inland and seeing 51 there on the coast. Now, rainfall is going to be showery and light for today. It's going to pop up out on the coast first and then move inland, but there is another bit of a storm system coming in tonight, and that's going to bring full rainfall for tomorrow. So I'll show you how all that wraps up in a few more minutes.
All right, Cameron, thank you very much. New at midday, and just in case you missed the ABC News special report just a few minutes ago, that's regarding the case against Jennifer Crumbley, the mother of the Oxford High School shooter, found guilty on 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. The jury deliberated for over 10 hours over the course of 2 days. The case was viewed as unprecedented as it tested the limits of who is responsible for a mass shooting. Jennifer Crumbley becomes the first parent in the United States to be charged in connection to a mass shooting. Her son, Ethan Crumbley, has already pleaded guilty to killing 4 of his fellow students at Michigan's Oxford High School in 2021. Crumbley's husband, James, is scheduled to go on trial on the same charges in early March. And in a crime alert, a Coos Bay woman has been arrested for ordering her dog to bite a deputy. This happened Monday night around 7 when deputies were called out to a domestic assault at the Seaport RV Park in Charleston. Deputies say 30-year-old Cassandra McIntyre was accused of hitting a victim with a weapon. When they arrived, they told her to put her hands behind her back, but she refused and resisted while ordering her dog to bite the deputy. The deputy was hurt after being bit several times by the dog, and eventually they were able to arrest McIntyre without hurting the dog. Deputies say McIntyre had threatened and assaulted the victim with a gaff hook, which is a tool used for fishing. She was arrested for domestic menacing, second-degree attempted assault, disorderly conduct, attempted assault on a peace officer, and resisting arrest. McIntyre was taken to the Coos County Jail and is still in custody. The injured deputy was treated at the hospital, then released. And still in Eugene, police are trying to find a man who robbed a local market this weekend. It happened at about 9:30 on Saturday night at Everyone's Market on Echo Hollow. Police say a man used a gun to rob the store and then took off east on Fuller Avenue. He's described as white, wearing a black hoodie, a face mask, blue jeans, and black shoes. In our severe weather coverage, more fallout over one of Oregon's top exports, hazelnuts. And last month's ice storm had devastating consequences for the orchards. They suffered severe damage all across the state, including here in Lane County. And there's a chance that this year's harvest will be significantly affected. Willamette Lane officials say over 35 acres of the orchard suffered severe damage from the ice storm. And for a time, the orchard floors were littered with debris from the storm and only recently cleaned up enough to open the orchards to the public. The biggest question, what will the cost of the damage be? There is still much damage that they're trying to assess, and Willamette Lane's Planning, Parks, and Facilities Director says this damage right before the spring could not have come at a worse time. He says there's a chance it could have a substantial effect on the volumes of hazelnuts harvested this year, which means revenue could also take a major hit.
Year over year, yeah, we will definitely see a reduction in revenue just as a sheer measure of the damage to the trees. Definitely for the next year. How quickly we recover from that, we'll have to see just how much of an actual impact the storm had. But since we had zero storm damage last year, this year most certainly we'll have a reduction in revenue.
Their priority is finding out how much of the canopy has been lost and the impact it will have on production. Adam says once that's done, they'll have to decide if it's worth all the time, effort, and money to get the trees back to harvestable condition. And state officials are warning you to be careful when you hire someone to do repairs on your property. They say unlicensed scammers are offering cheap cleanup and repair services to those affected by that ice storm as well. And hiring these unlicensed people could have some serious consequences. Listen to this. The Oregon Construction Contractors Board says it's common for unlicensed individuals to go door to door offering cheap and quick repair jobs. It might seem harmless, but doing work on damage of this scale needs proper documentation. Officials from the CCB say when it comes to cleaning up major tree damage and debris from the ice storms, professionals have safety nets that unlicensed opportunists do not. For example, say you hire someone unlicensed to clean up the severe storm damage on your property and they get hurt. Without a proper license, they aren't bonded in insurance. So without that insurance, you could be held liable if the worker gets hurt or worse on your property.
So watch out for anyone who pressures you to act now. If they say, I've got the materials, I'll do it for this low price right now, but if not, I'm walking away, I would let that person walk away. Any legitimate contractor is going to let you do your homework, research that contractor and other contractors.
They say it's important to take that time and do your homework before hiring anyone to do work on your property. The research helps you make an informed decision. A good way to check is to go to Oregon Construction Contractors Board website, which is oregon.gov/CCB. And continuing the coverage of the severe weather, eWeb says their new generator and other upgrades made just a few years ago paid off big time during the recent ice storm. And when all 3 lines of power went down on January 14th, the plant had switched up to their backup power system for the first time. The initial outage lasted about 36 hours, and during that time, the company contracted to refuel the generators couldn't drive on those icy conditions. But eWeb's fleet chained up and delivered fuel in batches every 12 hours.
It was a really good learning experience. And it just shows that, eWeb as a whole gives us a lot of time to plan and to use infrastructure that we have to train on it. So I think I don't know how it could have gone better.
They're planning to replace a pump station that stopped working, and eWeb is moving forward on long-range projects like the Willamette treatment plant, which will provide eWeb with a second source of water for the first time. And happening tonight, the Springfield Utility Board of Directors will hold a special public listening session at about 6 p.m. They're asking for any and all input about the recent ice storm and their emergency response. You can participate either in person, online, or by written comment. The meeting will be in the Annex Building at 223 A Street in Springfield. To make sure everyone has the time to give their feedback, input is limited to 3 minutes. So if you choose to do a written comment, the form can be found on Sub's website, and the form will be open until the end of day on February 14th. This will help Sub make more future action plans. And happening now, the Eugene Weekly is looking for drivers to deliver their papers. This is for the first print since laying off a majority of their staff about 6 weeks ago. The newspaper had to stop printing after thousands of dollars were embezzled from the business. Now, they originally set a fundraising goal of $188,000 to pay their bills. They've been able to raise about $150,000 thanks to community fundraisers. The editor-in-chief says they're planning to print their first paper on Thursday. She says they still haven't hired everyone back, but they are committed to producing a weekly paper.
Coming back, I missed it. It's like a family here, and being able to be a part of the community again and help out with events. And I work a lot with the community members with the calendar and their events going on. So it's been amazing. And today's actually my first day back officially.
The editor-in-chief says she put out a post on social media Sunday looking for drivers to deliver papers and had nearly 24 applicants. Looking ahead, the annual Polar Plunge in Eugene is happening this upcoming weekend. The annual event helps to raise funds for Special Olympics Oregon, serving more than 5,000 athletes with intellectual disabilities. Registration is open now, and you can create a team, maybe even join an existing one, or register independently. You can also register at the event. It opens at 9 on Saturday morning at Maury Jacobs Park. There's a 5K run at 9:30, then a costume contest at 10:45. Then it's the Polar Plunge happening at 11 a.m. You can also go to our website at KEZI.com for more information.